Chapter 529 to 530, Sword for Zhang Yi. Chunyu did not play dumb with Zhang Yi. He said directly, "After you finish the meeting, our captain hopes you can go and meet him, because you people from the outer city don't know the situation in Blizzard City very well. You may be deceived by others and go to places you shouldn't go." Chunyu said with a smile, "If I guess correctly, Bailey Chongqing of the Black Robe team has tried to persuade you to join their team, right?" Zhang Yi thought, Bailey Chongqing doesn't have the courage to do this. If I go, his captain position will be lost. But Chunyu felt that he guessed right. He smiled even more. After the death of the former captain Bian Junwu, the strength of the Black Robe team has dropped to the bottom of the 6 major investigation teams. It may even be cancelled in the future. So, I hope you will be cautious and don't be deceived by others. Zhang Yi heard that Deng Shintong wanted to invite him to chat, which probably meant to invite him to join their team. Unfortunately, Zhang Yi had no intention of joining Blizzard City. Just don't hit a smiling person. According to Bailey Chongqing, Deng Shintong's status in Blizzard City is higher than Bian Junwu. So Zhang Yi will not offend him. So Zhang Yi said, "After the rally, I will go to visit Mr. Deng Shintong." Chunyu's eyes slightly opened, revealing a satisfied smile. "Then, I will come to you at that time, so that you can learn about the history of my Tianqian team, and our strength." After saying that, Chunyu turned back to the combat center. The people next to him looked at Zhang Yi. Fatty Su asked worriedly, "Boss, you are being targeted now." "Alas, there is really no way. You are like a dazzling diamond, unable to cover up your own light." Zhang Yi said lightly, "With my strength, it is inevitable that they will pay attention to me." Even before absorbing the origin of Yuan Kongya, Zhang Yi's performance was enough to attract Bian Junwu's attention. So this matter is unavoidable. Being too good is also a kind of trouble. But if I don't want to join Blizzard City, I guess they won't force me. Bian Junwu and Bailey Chongqing both mentioned this to him. The investigation team and the Yanyan troops have very high requirements for loyalty. Therefore, the process of absorbing aliens from the outside world is very strict. Not only do you need to be strong, but you also have to consider your background, character, and so on. As for forced conscription, unless you are someone with outstanding abilities, the high-level officials of Blizzard City will have to take you in even if they don't care about your face. For example, after Zhang Yi completely exposed his strength, he would probably face this situation. And now, he only showed the strength of an elite investigation team member. Looking at Blizzard City, although there are not many combat forces of this level, there will not be too few in the 6 major investigation teams and the Yanyan troops. After hearing what Zhang Yi said, everyone was relieved. Because according to what they had heard before, the rules in this Blizzard City are very complicated, and the survival information is determined according to each person's contribution. When Zhang Yi came to Blizzard City, they would definitely follow him. At that time, they would be restricted by too many people. How could they be as free as in Tianhai City? As for Lu Karen, he kept his eyes on the box in Zhang Yi's hand. Zhang Yi naturally knew what she was thinking and said with a smile, let's go back quickly." He also wanted to take a look at this new weapon. Everyone returned to the apartment. The waitress who received them earlier couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief when she saw them return safely. She frowned slightly and was obviously a little unhappy in her heart. But she didn't dare to show it here, but the professional smile on her face became a little cold. Zhang Yi didn't bother to pay attention to her and returned to the room with everyone. Xiao Honglian and others were all in the apartment at this time, and they didn't know about the duel between Zhang Yi and Wu Di. Everyone came to Zhang Yi's room and looked at the black box in his hand with expectation. Especially Liang Yu and Lu Karen, they were most curious about the new weapon Zhang Yi had obtained. Zhang Yi didn't hide it. He put the box on the table openly, and then reached out to open it. With a hiss sound, the box was opened, and a puff of white smoke filled the air. Zhang Yi frowned and subconsciously tried to dodge, but Lu Karen understood him very well and said, "This is a chemical agent used to maintain metals, which can ensure that metal materials are not corroded. Usually only extremely precious treasures and weapons are maintained with it." Zhang Yi was relieved. After the smoke dissipated, the style of the horizontal sword inside was revealed. Everyone came over involuntarily and looked at the appearance of the weapon carefully. At first glance, you can feel that this sword is extraordinary. The shape is full of cyberpunk style. Under the light, the blade is glowing with a layer of blue, and the handle is wrapped in black leather. This knife is not long. The blade and the handle are only a little more than 1 meter, about 1.2 meters. Compared with the long sword Longming used by Liangyu, its length seems shorter. Blade pen. Straight, can be used for piercing and chopping. It is not a big weapon, but more suitable for close combat, as well as parrying and blocking. The advantages are close-range reaction and convenient carrying. Good knife. Liangyu recognized it at a glance. This is similar to the Tang horizontal knife. Although it is not the ancient style, it is also a good item for close combat. Zhang raised the horizontal knife. Although he was not an expert in using knives, he could feel the sharpness of the blade, which was definitely not inferior to Longming. Lu Karen couldn't wait to say, "Brother Zhang, can I take a look?" Zhang smiled faintly. "Take it and have a look." In the end times, cold weapons are most effective only for the strengthening aliens. After all, this is not ancient times, and all kinds of hot weapons are very useful. Zhang asked for it as a prize, just to add a self-defense weapon, and most of the time it would not be used. Because of this, Bailey Chongqing didn't look too distressed when he gave him this knife. Of course, this does not mean that it is not precious, but for aliens of Zhang Yi's level and above, it is not as useful as supernatural powers most of the time, except for aliens who are good at using weapons in close combat. Lu Kuoran reached out to take the horizontal sword. It was not heavy, only about 5 or 6 pounds, but it was extremely sharp. It was just right for people like Zhang Yi, who did not have particularly great strength. Lu Kuoran touched the blade with both hands, and the skill of divine machine control was immediately activated and immediately began to analyze the overall material structure. This chapter ends here. If you're eager to know more, then subscribe quickly if not already and comment to cheer me up. Thanks, my dear viewers.